Some things are built to last. Tested by the elements, proven by time, engineered for whatever comes next. Summertown Metals. Strength in every storm. Building dreams that last.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather at noon.
Well, good Tuesday. Happy Veterans Day to everybody out there who have served our great country on this beautiful Tuesday. It is a lot better than what we dealt with yesterday. It is going to get out of the 30s for once today. And we are looking at some warmer weather coming up later on this week, but we are having some changes coming into our forecast starting over the weekend and possibly going into next week. So that's something we'll keep a close eye on. I'll show you that here very shortly. Let's get right into your forecast. First off, let's take a live look from our Arctic Air Skycam network. Lawrenceburg, Florence, Huntsville, and Savannah checking in on this Tuesday. A lot of sunshine, just a few clouds around. And I actually think, that Savannah cam's working. It's a little more cloud cover than I actually thought. I was having to see if there were cars moving on the bridge, and there definitely were. So for some reason, I thought that image was actually old. But yes, there is a little bit of cloud cover here across parts of Savannah, Tennessee right now, also in Florence, but also looking at the mountains of northeastern Alabama in the Huntsville metro area, seeing a lot of that fall foliage. It's getting towards that peak. So if you do want to get out and actually get some fall pictures with the nice leaves, probably this weekend is going to be the best chance to do it, because beyond that, we'll get past the peak and those leaves will start to fall off very quickly. Radar satellite composite across the area. High pressure is situated still across our region, so that's responsible for the very cold start that we had this morning. Record lows for some of us. Huntsville came in at 21 degrees. That is a record low from this morning. But we'll be warming up eventually into the 50s later on this afternoon. We're getting close for some areas, but we're still stuck in the 40s for the most part right now. 45 in Lewisburg, 45 in Pulaski, 43 in Lawrenceburg, 44 in Russellville, 44 in Moulton, and 46 degrees here in the Huntsville metro area. This afternoon, we'll get into the lower 50s for most places. Some places might flirt with the mid-50s. A few clouds passing on through, just like we're dealing with right now. And temperatures this evening will be dropping down into the lower and middle 40s, eventually down into the 30s overnight tonight. Here's your forecast highs today: 50 in Lewisburg and Linville, also 50 in Lawrenceburg, 51 in Columbia, 51 over there in Waynesburg. Across the state line, things look like this as the graphics freeze. I can tell you that at least you're dealing with the 50s for the most part. There we go. 52 degrees in Huntsville today, 51 in Hazel Green, 49 in Athens, 53 over there in Muscle Shoals. Guess the weather computer doesn't really want to work properly today. Worked on this graphic pretty easily. Evening forecast dropping down to the lower and middle 30s by the time, lower middle 30s, upper 30s and mid 30s by the time we hit 10 p.m. We'll be getting into the lower 30s for a lot of places going into tonight. 35 degrees in Fayetteville, 33 in Pulaski and Lawrenceburg, 35 in Rogersville, 34 in Athens, 36 degrees in Decatur. So still a chilly start for your Wednesday, but hey, at least it's not down to the teens and lower 20s like we saw this morning. And the afternoon tomorrow is going to be a lot better across the area. 63 in Lewisburg tomorrow and Pulaski, 61 in Ardmore, 65 in Athens and Huntsville, getting up into the upper 60s, possibly over there in the Shoals, coming in at 67 degrees. All right, let's talk about our changes coming up potentially next week. We're going to be dry over the next several days, but once we get into Sunday and Monday, things are going to change. Rain chances are on the lower end of things right now, but once we get into Tuesday and maybe beyond, things might be different. So what we're going to do here is take a look kind of a little bit more long-term as some of the trends we're looking at. There's a lot of discrepancies in the exact timing of things, which is going to be a given with talking about things that are really beyond the 7-day forecast, but there is a chance that we could be getting into an active stretch of weather going into next week. So let's talk about it. European model here. Here's this Saturday. High pressure situated across the area, but a cold front starts to move on through going into Sunday. So that's that initial low wind rain chance that we have for our area. A few isolated showers could be possible for your Sunday afternoon. That system moves away. Another brief shot at some showers on Monday, but then on Tuesday, we are tracking another cold front moving on through, and this could actually have some thunderstorms with it. Is it strong, severe? I really can't tell right now. We're obviously in our fall severe weather season, so any system that has some thunderstorm activity, we'll just have to watch to see what happens trend-wise, but not really seeing anything that's just screaming, hey, we're going to be dealing with strong storms on your Tuesday. But I do anticipate at least some thunderstorm activity moving on through. So this is where things get a little more, I say, iffy and interesting, I guess, if you will, is when we get into the middle to the latter part of next week. The European model on the latest full run that it had has Wednesday dealing with more showers and maybe some thunderstorms with it. The GFS is relatively dry. Same situation on your Thursday. Maybe a chance at a few isolated showers, maybe some rumbles of thunder, but at least on this run, a lot of the more heavier rainfall and stormy activity is off to our west. Then we get into Friday of next week, and we have another low pressure system and cold front potentially moving on through. This one could have around us some heavier rainfall, maybe some storms with it as well. So that's just something we'll be keeping a close eye on. It does look like we could be dealing with multiple systems next week. Is that 2? Is that 3 or 4? It's kind of tough to tell right now, but it does look like we'll be getting back into an active pattern across the Tennessee Valley going into next week. So that's just something we'll keep a close eye on. The good news is, at least according to the European model here, once we get into your Saturday, things are going to be nice and dry. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that is the case going into next week. And so that's just a heads up, things that we're kind of looking ahead for going into next week. I know a lot of people probably starting to get their holiday shopping in, especially with us getting close to the Thanksgiving holiday. So if you are wanting to do that, keep in mind it could be pretty rainy across the area going into next week. That's something we'll just keep a close eye on in the coming days. The good news is we're going to be warming up over the next several days, getting up into the middle 70s by the time we hit Saturday, and then there's those low-end rain chances we just talked about Sunday into Monday. Overnight lows, if there are any freezing temperatures, tonight will be the last night we have it. Most places above freezing tonight, and then we are above freezing over the next several days. Lows will eventually get up into the lower 50s by the time we hit the weekend and early next week. That's your latest forecast here from the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Fred Gossage will be in at 5 p.m. to have another check on your forecast. Until then, I hope everybody has a fantastic Tuesday afternoon and a happy Veterans Day.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.